How's it going, guys? So I'm in San Francisco this weekend to test the brand new GoPro Hero 7 Black, and we're going to be comparing the HyperSmooth stabilization that this guy has to my Crane 2 with a 1DX Mark II. Without any further ado, here's the comparison. My initial thoughts before the test is that this GoPro is going to do really well, but it is a digital stabilization. It doesn't really have any form of mechanical stabilization like what the Crane 2 offers. So my thinking is that if this has any significant amount of turning or pitching or anything like that, that's where you're going to see a big difference in what the gimbal can do. But GoPro is saying, they're really pushing that this is the killer to gimbals. This is going to end the need for all gimbals. Let's see if that's really true. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit more of a technical test. I got the Crane 2 right here and the GoPro Hero 7 with HyperSmooth stabilization on. I'm going to start recording on this guy, so now you can take a look at the gimbal, and here is the GoPro. Let's first do a test of the actual stabilization, because I want to see what these look like side by side, just hand holding it, and then in a little bit more of an extreme situation. So here we go. I'm just walking at a normal pace, hand holding both of these. I'm thinking they're gonna look pretty darn similar because there's not too much going on here. I can notice a little bit of a difference when I turn. The gimbal has a more stabilized turn. You'll see that, whereas with the GoPro, I am directly turning it. It doesn't have any kind of lag like that does, where it stabilizes it a little bit more. Down low, up high, you'll see that the camera actually is keeping the horizon, which is adjustable with the joystick, but I have a little bit more control in selfie mode, I guess, with the GoPro. You'll see that's an interesting just difference between the gimbal and the GoPro. It's actually kind of misting out here right now, so I'm sorry if there's any water that gets on either two of these lenses, which the GoPro is completely waterproof. My camera is not, so it's probably not the best thing. I'm taking this out in the rain. Okay, so now for a little bit more of an extreme test, I'm gonna jog a little bit here and see how this looks. You definitely see the gimbal is working more now than the GoPro is. I can't really tell so far, but I think the gimbal is looking a little bit better, but my arm holding the gimbal is definitely, this arm is getting quite a bit tired, whereas this arm over here is still feeling good. That's one of the major differences. I'm actually gonna switch arms. There we go. Give this arm a little break. Get this guy working out. Okay, so now our final test here is sort of, I'm just gonna do this standing, an extreme rolling position. So with the Crane 2, I'm gonna go like this and like this, kind of mimicking an extreme situation where you might be moving all around. And this is what the camera looks like when you are moving around a little bit. You can see there is some movement, but things are staying very stable. Now, on the GoPro, if we try to do that, this is what that would look like. I'm sure the HyperSmooth stabilization is helping a little bit with that. I think partly because this is a small camera, it's getting bounced around a little bit, but there's no way digital stabilization is going to mimic the motions that a gimbal provide. So in that sense, I'm saying GoPro is not really accurate in their saying that this is a complete gimbal killer. There's no need for gimbals anymore. I don't think that's true whatsoever. This just helps a little bit when you're hand holding in a normal situation to take out some of the shake. It does do an okay job at that, but in terms of major movements where a gimbal can stabilize perfectly, GoPro, you still need a gimbal if you're doing anything like that. But this arm is now getting very tired, so you have trade-offs. GoPros are great for if you're doing something that needs just a small camera, you don't want a lot of weight, such as on a plane. GoPros are great for that. But if you're filming out of a plane, that's where gimbals are going to be a little bit more convenient and higher quality. I hope this side-by-side comparison was helpful in your decision to either buy a gimbal or a GoPro Hero 7. I do have to say this is the best GoPro that the company has ever made. but every single year they have gotten better, so next year it'll even be better than that. But where we're at is pretty darn good right now. Thank you for watching. As always, don't forget to keep it pro.